everybody, my name is Ludgy Hill. I'm the Community Resource Officer at the Oneida Police Department. I'm here to answer the question, what is a tribal action plan? In order to understand what a tribal action plan is, you will need a quick background. In 2010, Obama signed the Tribal Law and Order Act, which mandated several federal agencies to work with tribes in combating alcohol and drug abuse on their reservations. The Tribal Law and Order Act was signed because alcoholism and drug abuse were highest amongst Native Americans than any other race. The federal agencies worked with tribes out west to figure out what works and doesn't work. They kept the things that worked and created the Tribal Action Plan guideline. They found that when you incorporate a holistic healing approach of mind, body, and spirit, the success rate increases dramatically. One thing our community needs to understand is this is a guideline, a step-by-step process which many tribes are implementing to address alcohol and drug abuse. The Tribal Action Plan guideline is universal and can be used to address any issue tribal communities are facing. We are using it to address alcohol and drug abuse in Oneida. So what is in a Tribal Action Plan? The plan's primary focus is to make sure is in alignment with our culture and traditions, which will strengthen our identity. It's a fluid document that changes with the community's needs. It is not a program, it is a strategic plan that is inclusive to our addicts, their families, the community, our service providers, and programs. It's a strategic plan that reorganizes and aligns our resources to the community's needs. It's a plan that breaks down the barriers for getting immediate help. It's a plan that incorporates prevention, intervention, and education. Lastly, I would like to explain the steps within the Tribal Action Plan guideline. Step 1 was to create a resolution to address the alcohol and drug abuse in Oneida as a primary issue. Within the resolution, it also states to form a Tribal Coordinated Committee. The Tribal Coordinated Committee is charged with creating, implementing, and revising the Tribal Action Plan based off the community's needs. Step 2 was to have the Tribal Coordinated Committee do an inventory assessment of the nation's strengths, needs, resources, opportunities, potential partners, and needed funding streams. This step is taken to look at what resources are already available and how we can realign them to be more efficiently and effective. Step 3 was to do a community readiness assessment. The assessment gauges how aware Oneida is of the epidemic, what resources are available, how involved is the leadership, how the community feels about the epidemic. This step is taken to identify where to start. The starting point was identified to raise awareness. Step 4 was to create the Tribal Action Plan's vision, mission, and value statement. Step 5 was to create the goals and objectives to combat the alcohol and drug abuse. Finally, step 6 is to execute our to-do list so that we can reach our goals. We know families are drowning in this epidemic, trying to keep their heads above water. We are working diligently to execute our goals and objectives of the Tribal Action Plan. We have completed all steps and have created the first draft of the Oneida Nation's Tribal Action Plan. I recommend and urge our community to take it upon themselves to self-educate by clicking on the link to get their own copy of the Oneida Nation's Tribal Action Plan. I am only giving you a brief summary of what a Tribal Action Plan is. We are doing this video in hopes to raise awareness. The next video will be about what officers are seeing on the front lines regarding drugs and alcohol and how they are affecting the users and their families. We can only move as fast as our slowest person. We need to move forward together as a community, and it starts with you. Y'all won't go for your attention.